If your team comes to you for every decision, if your inbox fills up the second you step away, and if you've ever said to yourself, this place falls apart when I'm not here, you are the bottleneck in your business. And I want to walk you through how I actually fix this for myself. Not in theory, the exact thing I did. The thing that let me take 10 days completely off this month. No laptop, terrible cell service, 5 kids in Yellowstone. The business made money while I was gone. I booked 2 lead calls while I was gone. Here's the thing. Being the bottleneck is not a discipline problem. It's not that your team is weak. It's not that you need to let go more and let go of control. It is that your business is running on the wrong playbook. The one not meant for you. The one that treats your tendencies, your wiring, to be the character flaw to fix. When actually it is a wiring pattern. You are not failing at delegation. You are doing exactly what your wiring, the way you were uniquely built, was created for. And the way out is not more willpower. It's not following all the other playbooks. It is naming your wiring out loud to your team and building a few practices around it. So I'm going to walk you through today the 3 I use, 3 practices. I'm Lauren. I'm an alignment strategist for CEO parents, and I help CEO parents recognize the pattern that's running them, pivot to what fits the life they actually have, and lead from presence. I am a mom of 5, amazing, 4 boys, 1 girl. My laptop closes at 4 every single day, and I just got back from 10 days completely off in Yellowstone National Park. It was marvelous. Here's 3 practices that help me do just that. Stay with me. Number 2 is the one that changed everything for me. And number 3 is the small one that does the heavy lifting for everyone. So practice number 1, name your wiring out loud. Here is what I told my team about me. Discernment and galvanizing, those are my geniuses. Calling the shot, pointing the direction, making the decisions that pivot things. That is the work I light up doing. But tenacity, the long finish, the follow through, the execution grind, that is my frustration. That is the work that drains me. And what I told my team was this: bring me the discernment moments, right? The decisions, the should we kill it or keep it? The is this the right direction that we want to head? The where are we headed next? Those, I want all of those. I am built for those. The decisions, the discernment, knowing what's next. But the execution, finish layer, the long push across the line, own that yourselves or systematize it or hand it to someone whose wiring lights up doing it. But don't bring it back to me to push through. I will fail. I will struggle. It will take everything out of me. Now hear what just happened. I did not ask them to ask me less, right? I told them what to ask me about and what to keep off my plate, how I'm wired, how I'm built. I allowed them to see a picture inside of who Lauren is and what she's about. And I told them where I light up, and I told them what drains my energy. And my people love me because I love them. So they want to work with my wiring. And if you don't know your wiring yet, that is actually the bigger problem here. And that is exactly what my wiring workshop on July 15th is for. I will talk more about that on the end, but make sure you stay tuned so that you can be a part of that. Practice 1, name your wiring out loud. Practice 2, bring me 2 solutions, not 1 problem. This is the one that changed everything for me and my team. I teach this to my clients all the time. One of them is an agency owner, okay? She owns this incredible agency. She was getting questions from her team all day long at all different hours, early in the morning, late at night, because her team was all over the place, time zone-wise. And every question pulled her brain out of the work that only she could do. And what I told her was, instead of bringing me a problem, bring me a minimum of 2 solutions, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. Bullet points. I don't want paragraphs to have to read through. I don't want a lot of reasons why. I just want the bullet points. Then I can say option A or option B, or maybe none of these work, and here is a different answer. But you have done the problem-solving work first. You have thought it through. You have brought me a real decision to make. Not what should I do? That puts everything back on me. But here is what I would do if I was in your shoes. A or B, what do you think? Right? I did the research, I did the thinking time, I put in the effort, and that puts the discernment work on the person closest to the problem. It allows them to build that decision-making muscle, and it changes the conversation from extraction to collaboration. I run this in my own business. Every contractor I work with knows it. And it is the single biggest reason 10 days in Yellowstone did not fall apart for me. I don't ask them to come to me with problems. I ask them to come to me with the solutions. Practice number 3, match the communication mode to your wiring. This is the one most people skip, and it's the thing I hone in over and over and over again with my coaching clients and my cohort clients, because they think communication is communication. It is not. Your communication does not equate to my communication, and my communication does not equate to their communication. If your wiring is to verbally process, to think out loud, not on the page, writing back to your team in long typed responses is fighting your wiring every time, and it's not pulling out your genius. I'm what's called a resonant orator, and in one of the wiring frameworks that I suggest to everybody. If you want to know what my wiring frameworks are, comment below, I'll send them to you. But basically it means my ideas need a microphone, not a keyboard. So here's what I do. When my team asks me a question that needs more than a yes or no, or option A, option B, I respond in a Voxer voice memo or a Slack voice memo or a Loom video, not a typed reply. Because typing slows me down so much that I lose the thought before I get it written. And it actually makes me hesitate and distract and procrastinate on getting it done. So what gets sent actually means half of what I actually meant, or it gets held off forever. But verbally, 3 minutes, full thought, all nuance, I sound like I'm verbally processing, they get a better answer and they understand why I make that decision. And everybody wins. That is half of the practice. Here's the other half. If I'm going to respond fast, they have to make it easy for me to respond. So here is what I told my team based on my wiring. If you want me to look at something, send me the exact link. I don't care if I know that it's in the ClickUp task, or if I know it's in our drive, or I know where to find it. Not the doc is in ClickUp, the actual link to the doc, so I can click it when I'm answering your question. And if you want me to answer that question, tell me exactly what the question is, and tell me exactly what you need from me, because here is what happens if you don't. Here's how I'm built. If I go to find the thing, I click in, I look for it, I'm searching for it, I see 3 other things that need attention. And I get pulled off course and I get distracted and I start responding to those 3 things, and I have multiple tabs open on my computer and I forget what you asked me. And now you're waiting another 2 days for an answer I could have given you in 5 minutes if you had sent me the link. It seems ridiculous, but it's how I am wired. It's how I work. So links direct, questions specific, I voice memo back fast. That is the loop, okay? And it works for me because it's actually built around how I work, okay? Not how someone else does, not how they work, but how I work. Your loop will look a little different because your wiring is different. That's the whole point, okay? Understanding your wiring is foundational to all of this. If you don't know how you are wired, you don't know how you process, you don't know how you show up best, you gotta figure that out. Here's what I wanna tell you. I drove from Bozeman to West Yellowstone last week, 2 hours, actually a week and a half ago. Rivers, rapids, rock falls, land for miles. And it felt like an ache inside my chest because this is what I built the business for. Not so I could optimize every minute, not so I could squeeze more revenue out of every quarter or more productivity out of my team, but so I could be there, fully there with my kids for the moment, for the view. And the only reason I could be there is that I built my business. I actually redesigned my business. I pivoted my business after it was successful so that it was not routing every decision through Lauren Apple. Profit in presence is not a tagline. It is a refusal to pave over the land of your one life because someone told you that was the playbook. Here's the thing. Different people are wired differently. The bottleneck you have is not the same as the bottleneck I have or your peer has or your team has because your wiring is not the same. Your constraints are not the same. Your reality is not the same. Your setup is not the same. And that is why one size fits all delegation advice does not work. We hear it over and over again. You've got to do it this way. That's not true. That is exactly what I am teaching live in my free wiring workshop on July 15th. I'm walking you through the 5 wiring layers that determine what kind of bottleneck you are and the right practices for your wiring, not for mine, not for your next door neighbors, not for your peer, but for you, not someone else's. And you will leave with your bottleneck named and the rough shape of the operating system that fits your life, that fits your restraints, that fits your wiring. The link to that is in the description below. Comment workshop, and I'll send it to you directly. And tell me in the comments below as you listen to this, which of these 3 practices is the one you need to install first? Is it naming your wiring out loud? Is it 2 solutions, not 1 problem? Or is it being able to build your communication around your wiring? That's the one to start with this week. I hope I will see you in the workshop on July 15th. Thanks so much for watching.